Thanks, everybody. I don't normally do speeches, but I wrote one, so we'll see how long it lasts. I didn't have a good chance to time myself. So I want to thank everybody for coming out first. I know this is annoying, and we should be put in the situation to have to come out here and do this type of thing, but we do, unfortunately. So some of you may know, if you've ever seen me do stand-up, that I do stand-up comedy, and I'm also a libertarian. I joke around a lot, but I want to be a little serious here and tell you a little bit about myself. From a young age, my parents impressed on me the values that you work hard for what you want in life. Did no one else watch the debates or the conventions? Okay, never mind. That was a stolen speech from Melania Trump. So I will tell you a little bit about myself, though, maybe to introduce the party to some people who may not be familiar with it. Nearly 5 years ago, my wife and I moved here to Aberdeen. And the people in the city and state have been so welcoming and kind that we're really, really proud to call it our home. But if you go back a few years before that, I became a libertarian in 2008. I didn't feel like I needed to compromise on social issues and governmental issues. I believe we can have it all. Fiscally conservative and socially liberal. I think the Libertarian Party combines both parts of those, of the other two parties, and none of the bad qualities. The Republican Party, my whole adult life, has been a religion-first party, and liberty an afterthought. The GOP consistently erodes civil liberties and attacks civil rights. Their pro-war agendas have led this country into policing the world and stimulating terrorism. My whole adult life, the Democratic Party has been we know what's best for you party, and liberty an afterthought. Democrats consistently push for laws that make us less free and less safe. Their pro-war agendas have also led this country into policing the world and may lead us into a police state. 8 years ago, I was excited to hear Ron Paul on the big debate stage for the first time and instantly became a fan of Bob Barr for president. And for the last 8 years, I spent my time trying to further the idea of liberty and freedom to anyone that would listen. When I started paying attention, I started realizing that every year things got worse, and every year a Democrat or Republican was in charge. Every judge selected, every law passed, vetoed, or allowed to expire was done so by one of the two parties. Every state, every governor, and every city was led by one of the two parties. Every unconstitutional law was either started or perpetuated by a Republican or Democrat. One party would take our civil liberties away, the other would keep it that way. One party would start a war, the other party would escalate it. One party would illegally spy on its own citizens, the other party would make it legal. I'm 35 years old, and things may have been simpler before my time, but things are complex now. The simple times are over. The world is more complex, the issues are more complex, the politics involved are more complex, even our tax code is more complex. The simple times are over. No longer can our answers to issues fit on a bumper sticker, and nor should they. I don't want complex issues boiled down to a simple answer, because then the simple answer becomes left or right, Democrat or Republican, liberal or conservative. And then terms like liberal and conservative become derogatory terms used by simple people to belittle you. They use it to scare you to believe in a lesser evil is progress. Too often you hear things like a vote for a libertarian is a wasted vote. And I say the only wasted vote is voting for someone that doesn't have liberty in their heart. A wasted vote is voting for someone you don't believe in, and a wasted vote is choosing to elect evil year after year. Too often you hear things like, a vote for a libertarian takes a vote away from their candidate. And I say, if that's the case, then stop taking votes away from Gary Johnson. It goes both ways. Unlike the other two parties, libertarians don't vote against things, we vote for things. Things like principles, like peace, and liberty. Too often I hear things like corporations would take over and own everything if the Libertarian Party wins. And that's why I say, why are there no corporations that support the Libertarian Party? No companies lobby on the behalf of libertarians. They don't support us, and under our policies, corporations would have to sink or swim in the free market on their own without their government-provided life jackets. And when the waters get choppy, we wouldn't provide billion-dollar lifeguards in the form of bailouts. But nothing changes from the top down. You'll never convince the people in charge to give up their power in exchange for liberty. The change starts at the bottom with us. It starts with city council members, small-town mayors, state house and dog catcher. It starts with us, everyone in this room and in this city, to let go of our world owes me attitude, let go of our prejudice and judgmental attitudes. We're all here because we want to be here. We want what's best for our families and communities. But no one knows what's best for your family or you, except you. You get to decide your own fate. Marriage equality doesn't make you less free. Drug reform doesn't make you less free. Prison reform certainly doesn't make you less free. The only thing I know that you want, even though you may not know it, is more freedom. Because to me, the most important aspect of freedom isn't what it is, it's what it isn't. Freedom is a great equalizer. Because it doesn't matter what country you're from, who you share your life with, how you spend your free time, or even which bathroom you choose to use. If liberty's in your heart, then none of these things matter, because you know the same rules apply to everyone. The old saying is freedom isn't free. It's also not easy. Being free isn't easy, and it isn't simple. It's difficult sometimes to live and let live. The easy thing to do is to turn off your brain and say, let DC figure it out, and they will. They'll figure it all out for you if you let them. Republicans and Democrats will be glad to tell you which school to go to, which hospital to go to, which church to attend, which bathroom to use, what borders you can't cross, which guns to own, and which places are safe to protest at. They'll be glad to tell you that your drinking water is safe, your Social Security is guaranteed, and your tax dollars are needed to give them a raise for the great job they're doing. There are some big steps we can take to change the direction of our government. We have to change the current tax system that promotes cheaters, encourages liars, and only helps the 1% of the wealthiest in this country. The only way to do this is to move forward with a flat consumption tax, remove the income tax, and eliminate the IRS. With a simpler tax system, we will no longer need large hordes of tax lawyers. We can take those tax dollars and use them for something that actually helps Americans. The drug war has to end. The war on drugs is about as successful as the Iraq war. Nonviolent offenders make up 50% of our prison population, which, by the way, is the largest prison population in the world. That includes Russia, China, and Brazil, 3 of the most corrupt countries. When a large number of people are being disproportionately affected by victimless crimes, then it's time to start looking at the core issue and how to resolve it. The first place to start looking is at our friends in Washington and Colorado and take notes. They're doing something incredibly right, and the tax revenue is there to back it up. Since 1971, the Libertarian Party has been the vocal minority for civil rights, gay rights, gun rights, and smaller government. Maximum freedom and minimum government. The only true party of the people, by the people, and for the people. The truth is most people are libertarian, and they may not even know it. It's because most Americans are good, honest, and hardworking and caring people. Good people that just want what's best for their family and community, and together we can break that cycle of the two-party system. So in closing, if you're here because you feel cheated and robbed by the Democratic Party, then we welcome you to the Libertarian Party, but I have to let you know right now that nothing will be given to you. There's nothing free in this country. You will have to work for everything you want. And if you're here because the Republican Party is being led by a bigot reality show host, then I have to let you know right now that this is not the white nationalist party. We will not close our borders. We will not close our eyes to the injustices that happen to minorities. So let go of your antiquated social rules, and we'll be glad to have you join us. This election isn't just about a president. This election is about your ability to sleep at night, knowing that you stood up for your beliefs and did not choose evil, no matter how lesser it may seem. Thank you.